I'm back, Big T, back on YouTube and things of that nature. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the one and only Ice Spice. The streets are saying she fell off. I can't fully say if I agree or disagree with that statement, but W Video by Blackie Speaks. So I started watching the video and I was like, pause, let me react to this for the people. Ice Spice the fall off. You know I'm subscribed because when Blackie Speaks, I listen. Yeah, we're basically talking about if Ice Spice fell off. Y'all let me know in the comments below. Did Ice Spice fall off? While you're doing that, I need you to do something for me as well. Like the video, as previously mentioned. Comment down below and subscribe to the channel, fam. I'm not trying to fall off. Subscribe to the channel. You see the wave, Big T. We're kind of making things shake. Subscribe to the channel, fam. Road to 1K. You know how we go. So I think, because I started watching this video, I skipped ahead to different parts. But I think we're going to start it from here about losing relevancy. Because a lot of this is just like about her come up. And we all know how she came up. We know she had that video Munch. She was on Kai's stream. She had like her whole rise to fame. The industry was pushing her. She had her collabs with Nicki Minaj. She had a song in a Barbie movie. Like, yeah, she had her moments. But we're in 2024 now. Apparently, Munch, they were talking about in the video, came out like 2 years ago. So this is 2 years of the Ice Spice experience. And apparently 2024, as of this time, like, people are over it. So we're going to talk about it because there's some really interesting conversations to be had.
But it was at this point that things eventually started to take a turn for the worse. A turn that eventually took her from almost 40 million monthly listeners to 15.
That's a big fall off, guys. I ain't gonna hold you. That 40 to 15 point, something drastically went wrong. This is 40 million to 15.8. If you're an artist or a record label or an executive, when you see this fall off, you start to wonder why. And it's this drastic and this extreme in a short period of time. Like there's the fall off where like you slowly just fade into irrelevancy. Like I feel like most people have that, but this drastic jump of like 40 million people fuck with your music and now 15.8, something went wrong. Something went wrong. I ain't gonna lie.
In the span of a single year,
Cause she's
Ice
young.
Spice started teasing a song called Fart, which was supposed to be the single to her next project, Y2K. After the snippet went viral on TikTok and social media, she ended up releasing it on January 2024. The song initially debuted at number 37.
Sorry guys, because I was doing this before. I was looking into the lyrics for this song. This song really exposed to me the fact that Ice Spice actually cannot rap. Like I think I had like a small belief in my heart, like somewhere down in my heart, that she actually could rap. But I think all it is just she was just really catchy, and like her beats and samples are great, and it's just real catchy. But like when I actually like, because this was a song that this was one of the first Ice Spice songs that I hated. Like I hated hearing it, and I was like, why do I hate it? I'm like, okay, I don't really like the beat, I don't really like the sample, it's not that catchy. And now when you take away those things, I'm left with the verse. And it doesn't have to be like lyrical smearical, but you have to be trying. And I think the issue with her music, at least as of late, and I'm gonna show you guys here, it feels like she's not trying. It feels like she's just saying whatever comes to her head, just throwing it together and just putting it behind a beat. You don't want to ever be in that position as an artist. Like you don't have to be J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar levels of lyrical, but you have to try. You have to try to say something. It don't matter what you're trying to say. Try to say something. She wasn't trying to say something. I ain't gonna lie. Cause this is the chorus. Think you the shit, bitch. You're not even a fart. I be going hard. I breaking the hearts. Bitches be quick, but I'm quicker. Bitches be thick, but I'm thicker. She can be rich, but I'm richer. Like that is okay. I wasn't too much of a fan of it. It wasn't as catchy as some of her previous choruses, so that didn't really grab me. So then when we really got to the verse and I was like listening to what she's saying, then I was up to a point where it's like, bro, she's actually not saying anything, not even of substance, anything that makes sense. Taking her man, don't give a fuck, out in the yams, and I'm keeping one tucked. I made me some jams, unlocked at advance. I said 400 bands, just do my little dance. Bitch, I am a brand. Bitch, I'm a baddie, I get what I want. All in Balenciaga, I look like a bum. I got the jaddy, he just wanna hump. Walk through and start shaking my hips. I'm a dip when I stack all my chips. Strip a dummy, I want the whole fit. I got a French nigga sending me tips. Nothing was said here. Nothing was said here. I love Ice Spice. Nothing was said here. This didn't move me. Like the beat was great, but it wasn't. It didn't move me. Like, what are you really saying? Like that really. That was the first time where I really sat back. I was like, what are you saying? Let's go to verse 2. His bitch at home playing dress up. She must have thought she could catch up. I got my foot on their necks. I can't let up. She all on the floor. Told her to get up. She my son, but I ain't her mommy. Bitches can't stand me. Eat through my panties. Hard knock life, no Annie. I need a vacay. I'm losing my tan. I lose anything before my man. I'm a pretty bitch. I don't like fighting. On the beat, I'm going Super Saiyan. I said, mirror, mirror, who's the fairest? Leave a bum nigga looking embarrassed. Spend 150 on some carrots. That shit crazy like them niggas in Paris. Like, that's not going to do it. This screams I did not try. And one thing as an artist, you have to try. This looks like you didn't try. You just woke up, wrote some shit down, put it on a beat and said, boom, hold that. This is not good enough. This not going to cut it. The standard of music is not that high in 2024. That's not going to cut it, though. Y'all give me a little more than that. Respectfully.
However, the week after that, it dropped down to 52, then 93, and after 1 month and 22 days of its release, the song officially left Billboard Hot 100. Ice Spice at this point didn't have any records on the charts. As she continued releasing a few more singles up until the release of her Y2K debut album, Ice Spice hype had clearly died down at this point. Her music just wasn't performing as well, and the novelty factor of her brand was disappearing by the second. And then came her debut studio album, Y2K. The
W Blur, we're not trying to see
Ice Spice's that was supposed to be the most defining moment of her career. The album came out on July 26, 2024, with a mere length of only 10.
I ain't gonna lie. The only song I liked on it was Did It First, I ain't gonna lie. I think Did It First and then BB Belt, because it sounded like another song that she made in the past that I liked. But all these other songs were not moving me. And she got some big features on it too. Got Gunna, Travis on, but man, this shit did not move me, fam. This song with Central C moved me, I ain't gonna lie.
10 songs and 20.
Two for 10 at best. And it's a short ass album. This is screaming, I'm not really about the music. This is your first studio album. You can only give us 10 songs. You're not serious. You're not serious about your music. That's all that said to me. You're not serious.
3 minutes. The general public and her fans consider the album not good.
I feel like Ice Spice lacks the capacity and the ability to make a good record. Really, to me,
this nigga's always harsh on niggas. Like, I don't really agree with a lot what he be saying, because he be taking it from like a very high level musical opinion, where most of us are just like consumers. Like, does this music sound good? Do we enjoy it? But I kind of have to agree with him on some of the things he said, because I actually watched his breakdown of the album. I actually got to agree with a lot of things he said. And, like, I usually don't agree with him. Nigga be hating on Kendrick, Drake, Jay. Like, he just be hating. I have to agree with him on some of the things he's saying.
On the surface, it reads more like a lack of effort than anything.
The album ended up doing 28,000 in first
That's
week
not bad,
sales,
though. 28K
a number
is not
that
bad.
would be considered not so bad for any other fairly new artist. However, considering how much the industry was pushing her, the numbers were definitely underwhelming. Let's talk about some key reasons why this album underperformed. But most importantly of all, let's talk about why Ice Spice lost relevancy. First of all, the album rollout didn't come across as authentic. One of the focal points of marketing.
Did she really have a marketing rollout for it? I feel like this just dropped. Like, she just dropped some flicks on IG or whatever. I think, like, one show I forget what talk show she talked about it. And that was really it. It was just out. It was just here. I don't really remember nothing, like, because, like, respectfully, like, Ice Spice, like, a lot of her appeal is based on her looks. Because whether you guys, like, want to say it or not, like, for a lot of people, she's, like, attractive. Like, just universally attractive. Especially in 2024, for a large demographic of, like, men and women, like, she's attractive. So, like, I feel like they could have played more onto that for her marketing, because, like, at the end of the day, you got to do what works for your artist, and, like, that's what I would have went down the angle for Ice Spice. But I feel like they just dropped the music and just said, yeah, like, hold that. And, like, the music wasn't good enough to stand on its own. Like, nigga like Kendrick can do that. Kendrick, J. Cole, like, they can, like, just do nothing and just drop, because the music will speak for itself. That was never your bag, man. That was never good. That was never going to work out for you,
Album had
respectfully.
nothing to do with the music itself, but it did have everything to do with things outside of it, like her supposed relationship with UK rapper Central C. After coincidentally being spotted together in public around the same time she was ready to drop her album, it appeared as if they were allegedly dating, and they both kept the rumors alive and played into it. Come to find out, it was nothing but a ploy for a collab they were about to drop.
That was a good song. They did it first. That was a good song, as I said before. But yeah, this whole thing was just a marketing scheme, fam. And I ain't gonna lie, in 2024, big 2024, you need to do a lot more than a little love triangle to sell us on your music. Like, if that was the marketing plan, a love triangle with UK rapper Central C, like, respect to Central C, but like, that's not gonna cut it. That not gonna cut it. Like, I know that little story caught some buzz in the UK for a couple days, but to roll out your first studio album, you're gonna have to do more than that, honey. That was not it.
The song was titled Did
That
It
was
First,
not it.
and the entire concept of this particular song was cheating. The release of the song sparked a triangle cheating scandal between Ice Spice, Central C, and another famous social media star whose name is Madeline. She dated Central C in the past, and sometime after the song had dropped, Ice Spice stated that they were strictly friends. This is when we get into the topic of gimmicks. The definition of the word.
Yeah, that's a gimmick. That's really a gimmick. You got people invested in like a little love triangle thing, all for you to say like it's not real, and that like screams to your fans that you're just lying to them. And fans do not like to be lied to. The biggest thing you can do for your fans is provide them authenticity. When you lie, and you don't have to lie, just for like some pointless reason, you just want to lie for a few extra sales, people don't appreciate that. And people are not going to take your music or your career seriously. And that's what I think is happening. People are no longer taking your career seriously. That's the biggest issue. I feel like Ice Spice the rapper is no more, like, that's not a serious statement no more. Ice Spice the influencer, or Ice Spice like the personality, maybe that lane is going, but Ice Spice the rapper, the musician, the artist, that's not a serious statement no more. And that's where you fucked up.
Is as follows: something that is not serious or of real value that is used to attract people's attention or interest temporarily, especially to make them buy something. A strategy we've seen a lot of rappers in the game use with the help of the corporations, i.e. the record labels, and it usually ends up in the artist becoming a has-been. The psychology behind why that happens: people simply become more attached to the temporary high of uncovering what they...
Even all the gimmick people that I can think of, like gimmick rappers, I'm thinking like Lil Pump, 6ix9ine, I feel like they lasted longer than this. Because Ice Spice, it's been 2 years, and like, the first year was just all like, yo, new girl on the block. So the second year was more like, yo, I need to establish myself. And I felt like all those rappers, like, they had a little more longevity. Am I tripping to say 6ix9ine had more longevity than just like a year and a half? I feel like 6ix9ine had like a good like 2-3 years at least. At least. Am I? Before the whole, like, he went to jail and then he snitched, like, before all that, I feel like he had a good 2-3 years on, like, World Star, like, dropping hits. Maybe I'm misremembering that, but I feel like the 6ix9ine train was a little longer. Who else? Lil Pump, I think he probably was, like, at that same 1 year, 2 year kind of thing. But I think 6ix9ine might have had a little longer. And how Lil Mabu's heading? Lil Mabu might outlast all of them, I ain't gonna lie. Lil Mabu might outlast all of them. Haven't heard too much about him lately. But when that nigga markets, that nigga is low-key a marketing genius. I ain't gonna lie. It's gimmicky, but you see the brains behind it.
Gimmick actually is, rather than getting emotionally invested in the artist. For Ice Spice, her brand has always been very superficial. One of the biggest reasons why she even blew up in the first place was, you guessed it, due to pretty privilege, a social phenomenon which acknowledges the societal advantage a person has by fitting into the beauty standards of their culture. Ice Spice is...
Do you guys think pretty privilege is a real thing? I've had debates about this. Is pretty privilege a real thing? Is pretty privilege an actual valid thing where, like, more attractive people get better opportunities and better options and are propelled forward? Or is it like just like this new pity, woe is me kind of thing that we just created in our heads that we do when we see like attractive people succeeding? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's that big argument where it's like some people are like, yo, it's not a real thing. And some people think it's like a genuine thing that actually affects like people on their day-to-day. Like, your attractive level Your attractiveness level can actually affect how far you can go in certain industries. And some people are like, yo, this is something we make up just because we can't accept like attractive people also getting opportunities. I'm in the middle, but I have seen potentially wear pretty privilege in like my just day-to-day life. Like I've seen that. But I also see like where we just overdo and we drag it. Like an attractive person, like say as myself, because I'm Lang, like just because I'm good looking doesn't mean I don't deserve like opportunities, or doesn't mean I can't work for my opportunities. There's plenty of attractive people who have worked hard for everything they got, and their looks didn't get them there. Their smarts got them there. Their personality got them there. Their hunger, their drive, that's what got them there. I've seen that like attractive people, like they can also like work. Like I don't know like where the stigma is like, oh, when you're attractive everything you have is just given to you. Like no, like there's a lot of attractive people who work for what they got. So like it's a two-way street. I don't know. I don't fall too far in the extremes. I just think it's an interesting conversation, but I don't really focus on that too heavy. I feel like at the end of the day, ugly, attractive, like in your opinion, ugly or attractive, like fam, however you look, like you can get and do whatever you want to do once you put your mind to it. Someone might have an easier path than you, but that doesn't mean there's not a path for you to do X, Y, Z. You get me? Like someone could potentially drop 3 videos and become an overnight success and get millions of subscribers. That doesn't mean that there's still not a path for me. Maybe it takes 200, 300, 400, 500 videos for me to blow up. The path is still there for me. Their path might have been easier, but the path is still there for me. And I feel like people get discouraged to even go on their path because they're looking at other people's path and how easy or hard it was. That's my personal opinion about the pretty privileged conversation.
Is after all a racially ambiguous, attractive woman who's most importantly of all light-skinned. Colorism is a huge factor that plays a critical part in the success of any female rapper. This is the same thing Cardi B benefited from. Being racially ambiguous simply makes you appear as more relatable to a bigger demographic of people. She had all those things.
I don't want to talk about it. When you're like racially ambiguous, a lot of you guys don't know what that word means, but like you can't like pinpoint a race onto you because you're mixed and you're mixed with all these different things. You become more appealing for everyone. Like that's one of the reasons why like a lot of people are attracted to Central C. Pause. Like a lot of females, because he's like racially, you don't know what he is. Drake, like you don't really know what he is. Is he black? Is he Jewish? Like is he light skinned? Like there's so many, like, you know, Ice Spice, like you don't know what she is. You get me? Cardi B, I don't really see that too much with Cardi B, but like, you know how they showed like an image of like Flo Milli. So like I remember on Twitter when there was discussion, I think he showed a picture of Flo Milli. Hold up.
Makes you appear as more relatable to a bigger demographic of people. She had all those things playing towards her advantage, on top of having the nepotism aspect on her side.
Hold on, let me go back. Yeah, they showed Flo Milli because there was a really interesting debate about Flo Milli versus Ice Spice, because Flo Milli can really rap, and the conversation was, yo, if Flo Milli was light skinned and like she had a big bum and big boobs and whatever, would Flo Milli be at the same, like, would Flo Milli be just as popular as Ice Spice? Because Flo Milli can really rap. Like, Flo Milli's a great artist, but like Flo Milli for a lot of people is like passed under the rug, or she's underground, or people don't really like rock with her music like that. And I think there's just literally the conversation was the reason why the levels between Ice Spice and Flo Milli is not music. It's just that more people find Ice Spice attractive. Ice Spice is like a baddie. Flo Milli is just like, Flo Milli is cool or whatever, but she's not a baddie. Ice Spice is a baddie and she makes music. Flo Milli is Flo Milli and she makes music. Flo Milli's music might be better, but she's not a baddie like Ice Spice. That attention Ice Spice can get when she goes on stage, she does her whole twerking thing because she's a baddie. That will just obviously clear anything that Flo Milli does with her music. I like how he showed Flo Milli, because that was a literal debate when they were both coming up. Who's better? And for a lot of people who actually listen to music, it was like no question, Flo Milli's better. Flo Milli's one of them ones. Like Flo Milli can rap. But to the mainstream, everyone was picking Ice Spice over Flo Milli, because a lot of people didn't actually listen to Flo Milli's music. And they all got put onto Ice Spice because it's like she's the new baddie in town. Interesting conversation still.
simply makes you appear as more relatable to a bigger demographic of people. She had all those things playing towards her advantage, on top of having the nepotism aspect on her side. Ice Spice had every advantage in the book, which you can't fault her for capitalizing on, but it does explain why the general public
you can't
views
hate
her as
a
an
person
attractive girl who one day decided to pick up a microphone and somehow surpass the women in the industry who've been working at their craft for decades just to get ignored. The music industry is clearly not about talent. Ice Spice is a representation of that fact. She leveraged her looks in order to put herself in an elevated position,
If the industry wants a certain thing, and you have a certain thing, you'd be silly not to take advantage of that and see how far you can take it. Like, for some people, they love the game, like, they love music, like, that's cool. And I hope all those people succeed. But if you're there and you have everything that the industry wants, why would you not leverage that? If you have the looks, if you have the connections, if you're the thing that you see people looking for, like you have the it factor, you might as well use it. So pick up that mic and start rapping. Like, any pretty girls out there, you have the look, pick up a mic and start rapping. You don't need to fall in love with rap. You don't have to bleed rap music through your veins. But yo, just fool around in the studio, drop a song and see what happens. Respectfully.
That's gonna be hard to maintain for the long haul. The core of what Ice Spice sells is sexuality and promiscuity, something that she knows and all the people backing her up also know. This is not a secret when it comes to her. At every single moment possible, she's either seen twerking or sticking out her tongue in a salacious way, which does constantly feed into her brand. This is what keeps her popular because as a female rapper in this generation, unless you're selling the idea of sex, it's going to be hard for you to even get your foot in the door.
Sad but true. Sad but true. L-ad. Sad but true though.
Part of selling this brand-wise is connected to children, specifically little girls. If you pay close attention to the visual aspect of her brand, bright colors like pink speaks to that younger audience, something that's been an integral part of marketing her to that big demographic of young girls. On top of the visual aspect, we also have the personality aspect. Ice Spice appears as a very likable person. That was of course up until the recent story involving her
Cleopatra. They had some beef. I wasn't locked in on that, so we gonna find out. Apparently people talking about Ice Spice's true colors really came out, because other than like aside from the music and the looks, like Ice Spice just comes off as like a cool person. Like, she comes off well. She just comes off as like a regular girl. You know, she's cocky. She got like that. She got that pretty girl attitude. Like, when you know you're pretty and everyone tells you you're pretty, you got that little attitude. But like, she never came across as a bad person. She just came off as like, you know, that pretty girl in high school. Like, when everyone tells you you're pretty and you know you're pretty, and a part of your success is off of your prettiness, like, obviously you're gonna have a little bit of ego. And like, she just came off as like the pretty girl in high school, like, you know, kind of unaware, not really tuned in, but like, you know, she knows she's pretty, and that's all that matters. But she never came off as like a bad person, if you know what I'm saying.
Friend Cleopatra, which we'll talk about in just a minute. An aspect a lot of people overlook, coming across as being likable, can get you where you want to go. Whether it's attracting the right opportunities for your business, cultivating relationships of all kinds, or having certain unique experiences in life. It's one of the most effective ways to network with others. People like being surrounded by others who exude a sense of warmth and friendliness. This is directly correlated to persuasiveness, which is the quality of making people do what you want or believe in what you believe. On a personality level, Ice Spice does project an easygoing kind of vibe. Whether or not it's real, that's not the point, nor is it relevant. She's managed to convince millions of people all around the world that she is who she supposedly says she is. So on top of what we spoke on, she also has a very strong identity, which is one of the key factors to reaching a high level in any industry. It communicates a very strong message to anyone who's brought into your world, and Ice Spice has created a world for herself. However, considering all the leverage she's built up in the industry throughout her short time in it, it is inevitable to say that Ice Spice has been on a losing streak. Something that's not only affecting how the general public views her, but it's also going to affect the marketing budget her record label allocates to her career. Aside from that, her public persona has also been taking a very strong hit. Of course, I'm gonna talk about this story. I'm sure you might have heard the current viral situation she's found herself in. Ice Spice's former friend and rapper, Cleopatra, recently came out
I thought it was Cleopatra, I ain't gonna lie, but it's Cleopatra. That's a W name.
exposed Ice Spice for being a mean person behind the scenes. This is the second person who's been close to Ice Spice that's came out exposing
Who
her
else
in
said
the
that?
recent months. In one of the stories she told, Cleo
Who else said Ice Spice was a mean? Who else said that?
Trappa talked about the mistreatment she faced from Ice Spice on tour.
I want my fans to come out. Like, she didn't really try to like mesh me in with her actual fan base or try to like put her fan base onto me.
Ice Spice ended up responding to her friend by calling her a vacuum because she ate so much food at an Italian restaurant they went to during tour.
Oh yeah, I seen that. It was like a Twitter space or a live or whatever like that. And like Ice Spice like whole like response to like Cleo Trappa being like, yo, I felt like you didn't support me and you're being really fake and not real. Ice Spice like, yeah, you're a fucking fat ass vacuum. You just ate all this food at this Italian restaurant. I didn't say nothing, but it was kind of crazy. Yeah, I remember. I didn't join that live, but I remember watching the screen recordings of it, and I was like, okay, what is this? This is kind of crazy. Like this is kind of extreme. I ain't gonna lie.
You not gonna tell the people how we was at an Italian restaurant and you ate so much fucking food, you fucking vacuumed,
Yeah, this
that
this
the server
Twitter
was
space,
like,
yeah.
where did the food go?
In other words, Ice Spice was a big fat meanie, according to Cleo Trappa.
But like that's not that crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Like that's not that crazy. Like that was funny to me, but I was like, okay, like what's the real issue here? Cause like I usually when someone accuses you of like something, like you usually defend yourself or double down, but she didn't really do none of that. She kind of just deflected and brought up like some random story about Italian restaurant and her friend might just be a big back. Cleo Trappa's biggest like her her biggest crime right now is that she's a big back. Like that's all I got from that. And I'm a big back too, so shout out Cleo Trappa type shit.
Trappa, she was a fake friend, and she treated her like a second-class citizen, from having her carry her own bags to not being allotted a separate dressing space while they were touring, to Ice Spice team saying that there wasn't a budget in place when her friend asked them to buy her some food, a chicken salad. Cleo Trappa after this was convinced that Ice didn't like her, and as a matter of fact, she hated her friend. After the embarrassment she faced behind the scenes, she decided to uncover the real side of Ice Spice.
Yeah, so the whole thing was just Ice Spice apparently treated Cleo
I don't want to sound rude.
Shut up. Apparently, Ice Spice treated Cleo Trappa like just as like a bum during tour, and that was the whole thing. Yeah, and then a lot of people, it became a thing because nothing's really come out about her personality. So people are like, oh, that's how you are behind the scenes. But like, it happens to everyone. Remember when we all thought like Ellen was so nice, or like James Corden or whatever, like all these talk show hosts, and like all these like celebrities and the guests like reveal how they actually are, or no, not even celebrities, people who work for like the television network. So like maybe the makeup artist, or like maybe a set designer, or like maybe one of the cameramen. Like they just reveal how these talk show hosts are like actually like how they actually are behind the camera, and like it happens so many times where it's like, yo, she's a dickhead, she's controlling, he's rude, he's disrespectful, because we realistically only see the talk show host for like what, an hour on TV. So they come off as like these big friendly talk show people, just meeting all these people, having great conversations, and then like the cameraman's like, yo, like no, like this talk show host is a dickhead. Like we've seen that so many times. I don't think so. There's Ellen. I think Ellen's still on TV. She still has not beat those allegations of being a dickhead.
Now, this is
But it's
definitely
Ellen, though.
connected to the fall off or loss of relevancy of
It's
Ice
like wearing
Spice,
on
if
its
you
head.
will, because just
That's
a few
crazy.
months ago, one of her former friends, another one of her former friends, actually came out with a similar type of story. Her name is Baby Stormy, and personally, I don't know if I would consider her as very credible due to the nature of that particular expose. However, that
Okay.
aside, her reputation has definitely taken a hit. And this is related to something I spoke about, just a minute ago, which is her public persona. Because part of the reason why Ice Spice managed to be so successful is due to how she's appeared to the world. A young, beautiful, but very sweet woman, well-mannered, aside from when she's, shaking her ass, which is like, never. Ice Spice has benefited from what we call the halo effect, a cognitive bias where the overall impression of a person influences how other people feel and think about a person's specific traits. So for Ice Spice, she has the, the visual package, which is...
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this right now, guys. If you guys want to go far in any industry, being the good-looking, attractive person who's also nice and humble will take you like so far. It'll literally take you so far. Like it will literally, like people will literally start thinking of you in a certain way where it's like, yo, like you said, the halo effect. Like you'll really be looked at as like you can't do no wrong. Like people will start looking at you like you're Jesus. Like being nice and also attractive at the same time and being humble, like that combination will get you real far. I'm telling you that. Like people just like maybe it's a rare thing to see, but like that combination will get you real far in life, especially in entertainment. Coming off like in like humble and nice, and then also still being like maybe like really good at what you do or attractive or whatever. Like you know like the humble superstars. Yeah, that will take you far. Like a Steph Curry, really great at basketball, one of the greatest point guards, whatever, but so humble about it that you would never know. You get me? There's some people who can kind of override that just with their ego, like Michael Jordan. He's the best. He knows he's the best. He says he's the best. Ego, and you know he can supersede that. But most times, people will always root for the humble superstar. People will not root for the egotistical great. Like if you're great at something and you let everyone know, people are rooting for your downfall. But if you're great at something and you're humble about it, people will always root for you. People will always root for you no matter what.
You know, the assets, i.e. very nice body and good facial features and a nice smile. She simply looks better than 99% of the women on earth.
It's not even that she looks better too, it's that her look is different. Like her look is real different. Like this is a light-skinned girl with like an orange afro. Like it's that like attractiveness where it's like, yo, you're attractive, but you're also like unique and different. Like you can't take your eyes off her kind of thing. I don't know if that's glazed. Niggas might be saying I'm glazing. I might just be glazing. But, like, there's something about the look where it's like, okay, like, there's a lot of attractive women. But there's something about her that it's hard to take your eyes off because it's, like, different. You don't really see this every day. You don't walk down the street. Like, you know when you see an attractive celebrity and you're like, yo, they're attractive. But, like, you see, like, people who look like that, like, 10 times when you walk down the street of Toronto. She's one of those people who's, like, attractive. And, like, you could walk down the street and you're probably not going to see a girl looking like this. You're probably not going to see a girl with an orange afro and like pulling it off the way she does. Like, family, I'm telling you, it's something about how unique the look is too.
Based on societal standards, of course, because beauty is highly subjective, and depending on what culture you're in, your level of attractiveness will vary. Now, this is what they call the halo effect. It's considered the physical attractiveness stereotype in which what looks beautiful is seen as good. I mean, there's even studies on this. Attractive people in society are perceived to be smarter, funnier, and more likable than less attractive people. From personal experience, I can tell you that some of the most demonic people I've met have been some of the most good-looking people on the outside. I'm sure you can relate to that. Ice Spice falls under this category perfectly, and that's why this recent story involving her friend coming out like this is just so damaging to her career. To be fair, her looking good is one of the only things that propelled her to this level. Let's just keep it real, right? This is like the nail in the coffin effect, where one needle is moving the mountain in a whole nother direction. All those good qualities people automatically projected on.
Yeah, because I feel like he's saying, like, it's really like nail of a coffin, like, this like kind of burst the balloon. Like everything was blowing up. Like everything was going her way. Everything's coming up ice. And then this accusation of, hey, Ice Spice kind of treated me like shit when we're at tour. It's kind of like the pin to like kind of like collapse the balloon. Like, you know, the propaganda, the Ice Spice train. It's like it feels like it's slowing down. And like, you know, it's not good timing for her right now. Especially off of that album, like, this couldn't have happened at a worse time. Like, it all feels like it's just crumbling. It's all crumbling, I ain't gonna lie.
On her are slowly dissipating in the minds of the public. Ice Spice's entire image was built on not only sexuality, but being what women call a girl's girl. Now, what exactly is that to all the men who don't know what the hell that is? Because I just found out what it is. This is a term that's used to describe a woman who celebrates her fellow women, doesn't let jealousy get in the way of doing so, and she's honest and encouraging to her fellow women as well. Ice Spice has now lost that entire aspect of her brand due to this controversy. Also, Ice Spice just doesn't have the same...
You can't be a girl's girl and then you're treating another girl bad. Like, you can't be. It doesn't coincide. If you're a girl's girl, you support all females. Like, you show love, you know, like, you empower women. How can you say you stand for all those things and then your a female artist who's on tour with you is saying you're treating her like garbage? Those things can't coexist, Queen. I ain't gonna lie. Ice. That ain't gonna work, Ice.
Same type of freshness to her name anymore. People feel like they've experienced all that they can from her. Her music has clearly taken a back seat as far as the conversations in relation to her name, especially with this particular story right here. And also, to be fair, she hasn't done herself a favor by putting sex at the forefront 24/7. Unfortunately, you know, the majority of female rappers do that, but the ones that end up sticking are the talented ones, okay? The ones who show the world that they have more to offer than just their body. I'm talking about Snow the product. I'm talking about...
Who the hell are you? If you don't say Nicki Minaj next, we're gonna have a problem, sir. If you don't say Cardi B, we'll have a problem.
Bia, I'm talking about...
Who? Why are you bringing up Bia? Bia low-key fell off, but we don't have that conversation.
Doechii, I'm talking about...
Who the hell are these people?
About Flo Milli.
Okay, big up Flo Milli. Big up Flo Milli. Big up Flo Milli.
These are women who put their creativity at the forefront of everything.
Loki, I'm sorry for disrespecting Bia too. Bia makes good music. My fault.
They do. Now, as for Ice Spice, her body is more popular than her music. And it's always been like that. Whether it's the millions of young girls following her because they want to be like her, or whether it's the thirsty, basement-dwelling teenage boys who get turned on when they see her fat ass. Her name is fueled by her
why do you say it like that? Why do you say that shit like
willingness
that?
to lean on sex. And once the shape she got introduced to the game with starts to change, since she lost a bunch of weight and people...
Does that have a factor too, you guys are thinking? Because when she came onto the scene, she was thicker. And now, like, people are saying, like, she's lost weight. People are saying Ozempic or whatever, but she lost weight. She apparently says she's in the best shape of her life, like she's feeling healthier. But like a lot of people are like, no, like we missed the old Ice Spice. She was thicker. Where'd her bum go? Rah, rah, like that. Like she's kind of losing that appeal. Like unfortunately, like it's sad because like you would hope we would stay around for her music, but she kind of built up her name off her body, and now that body that everyone loved, the slim thick, is not looking as slim thick anymore. You're looking skinnier, which could be how you feel more comfortable that way. She could generally feel more comfortable, happier, healthier that way. But niggas don't care. Niggas gonna be like, yo, cool, nigga, we don't care. Where the fat ass at? That's what That's what it really comes down to. Niggas gonna be like, yo, turn around, twerk. Where's that fat ass? Niggas don't care. Niggas don't care. Oh, I feel healthier. I want to be skinnier. Like, no. People are gonna be like, yo, where's the old Ice Spice that I remember? Because people are not going to be like, yo, I miss the old Ice Spice music. No one's talking about that. Oh, I miss how Ice Spice used to rap. We don't care. Niggas don't care. I miss how Ice Spice's body was. I miss how Ice Spice built. That's what niggas are talking about. That sounds crazy to say, but that's what niggas are talking about. It's sad, but she kind of did it to herself, respectfully. Based on how she came up and what she chose to portray, now when her body is changing, whether for the good or the bad, niggas going to be like, yo, that's just not the same. And some niggas are really clocking out talking about this is not what I came for. Because they didn't come here for your music. They came for your body. And now that your body no longer is appealing to them, now they're like, yo, not rocking with it. That generally might have something to do with it. I was going to bring it up, but I didn't know if he was going to bring it up. But now that he brought it up, I'm really going to speak on that. A lot of niggas are like, yo, this is not the Ice Spice. That's not like... It's kind of sad, but that's what niggas are talking about.
Who have accused her of using Ozempic for her weight loss journey. Now that she's looking so different, what are they actually supporting? I mean, people were already not attached to her music and leaning too much on your looks, whether you're a man or a woman, in any facet of life.
Facts.
It's something that's very fleeting. As human beings, we can't...
If you're a man or a woman and your main thing is looks, your looks will go. People are going to move on when they don't find you as attractive or as pretty as you used to be. That's why marriage is such a hard thing, because marriage, you have to come together because you have to fall in love with that person for who they are, not their looks. Their looks will go. Eventually, that person that you fell in love with is not going to look the same. But if they're the same person on the inside, then your marriage should continue. But for a lot of people, that's where divorce and all of this should come in, because the person that you married, they might not look like that 20, 30 years down. And now you're like, yo, this is not the person I married. And that's where we get the divorce conversation. But I could speak on ends of that, because if you know, you know. But that's an interesting conversation still.
Run away from the inevitable process of aging. And that's why you got to make sure people fall in love with who you are on an intrinsic level and not what you are. Leaning on the physical stuff gots to go. Okay, finito. Unfortunately for Ice Spice, since a big part of her popularity was fed by her good looks, that is her gimmick and she has to maintain it, or else she'll fade away. To each in his own, but one thing's for sure, people have lost interest in Ice Spice. Do I think she's fallen off? Well, she's clearly not as hot as she used to be.
I'll go after all this, I think we're just going to cut it off here. I'll go Ice Spice fell off. Because you brought up so many good points. You brought up so many good points of how she portrayed herself, how she's represented, how the controversy affected it. Even just the way, like, her body looks now, even how her music sounds, her album sales, how she promotes herself, the whole gimmicky marketing, like, you really, like, I'll go lie, I can't believe you did this whole video and it's like, yo, she's not as popular anymore, she didn't fall off. You convinced me she fell off. And I'm an Ice Spice fan, like, I rock with Ice Spice. And, like, unlike some of y'all horny ass niggas, I actually rock with Ice Spice, the artist. I believe in Ice Spice, the artist. I like the music. I like the vision. I liked where it was going. It was something different. But now, like, Ice Spice, the artist, like, it's not really hitting no more. Because the music doesn't hit. I don't care if she looks different now. She lost all this weight. Like, I don't care. I'm not her man. I wish I was, but I'm not her man. So, like, that I don't care about that. I care about the music because she's an artist. The music is no longer good to me, so that's why I think she fell off. And now you compound all these reasons why the music is not good. You compound all these reasons why her persona and her whole image and the aura. You compound the aura falling off. I can see why a lot of people are no longer fans of her. I can see it. I think she fell off. But the great thing about falling off is there's always a way up, fam. There's always a way up. I've seen artists come back from worse. Fam, y'all don't remember where Gunna was not too long ago with the snitching allegations. His career was down here. But you drop an album, a generational album, one of one. You drop a generational album and you're back up here. Because at the end of the day, for an artist, it's about the music. So if you go back to your roots, go back to the music, you can climb out of this. Fam, niggas thought Gunna was done in the rap game. I thought he was done. The snitching allegations, after he snitched, after he turned his back, and then people going back into his lyrics saying, you said he would never snitch, and you did. Like, it was supposed to be over for him. But all he did, the only thing he did, was just drop a good album, and now he's back up here. Now he's back on top. Gunna's back. So if Gunna can come back out of that, then there's no way there's no reason why Ice Spice, if she goes back and focuses on the music, why she can't just go back on top. But that's just my opinion, though. If you enjoyed that video, I really enjoyed that video. I get real passionate talking about Ice Spice. If you enjoyed that video, I need you to do 3 things. I need you to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe to the damn channel. Road to 1K. We're trying to touch 1K. If you enjoyed that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.